Metal Detectors, located in sunny Tampa, Florida, where we sell nothing but fun and adventures, treasure hunting gear, and anything you can imagine for metal detecting. Give us a call, 813-237-1939. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk.
Welcome, folks. Welcome to another exciting edition of Treasure Talk. And Jeff, I was watching the intro there, and that guy looked a little younger and a little thinner. I have to say.
Well, that was 5 years ago.
Yeah, 5 years ago. So I guess that's the reason for it. But anyway, it's nice. It was warm today. It was, I think, it was almost probably in the 70s, I think. It was just nice out. So I know you still have some real cold weather up there.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, it got to 50 and rained all day. So,
yeah, we were back to t-shirt weather. So I was happy to see that. But it'll probably get cold. If you had rain today, we'll probably get some more cold tomorrow. It's been a cold winter for sure.
It has.
And I guess I better get started with the housekeeping because we have some exciting guests on tonight, don't we?
We sure do.
All righty. So I guess I'll get started. As always, friends, today's show is brought to you by your friends here at Myers Metal Detectors, where we sell fun and adventure. And the views and thoughts and opinions expressed here by the Treasure Talk guest and member belong solely to the guest and member, not necessarily to Phil Myers, Jocelyn Myers, Myers Metal Detectors, or Jeff Bonnet. Well, I'm getting good at that, ain't I? 5 years.
Yeah. Yep.
And of course, the purpose of Treasure Talk is to promote the hobby of metal detecting and treasure hunting of all forms, and educate our members in a fun, informative manner. And we're going to do just that. And we were talking to the guests, and we got some awesome giveaways tonight. So tell your friends.
That we do. That's something people are going to really, really want.
Absolutely.
I mean, we usually have good giveaways anyway, but these are outstanding giveaways. We're going to have 4 of them tonight. We're going to have a hat for one. We're going to have I think it's a musket ball, isn't it?
I think so. Musket shot from the
musket shot. Yeah.
I think that one's from the 1715 fleet.
Yeah. And then we're going to have a very, very special commemorative picture with Captain Fizz in it. And then the topper of all toppers, and this will be the last giveaway we do tonight, will be an 8 real. Now, it's not from the 1715 fleet, but it's still an 8 real, people. And you can't hardly beat that with a big stick. So that's what we got coming at you tonight, plus a lot of tremendous information. As you know from the title, we're doing Scuba Wize tonight. That was with what used to be Captain Fizz, Mark Littleton, and Brad Williamson. As you all know, we lost Captain Fizz, and everybody just say a little silent prayer for Captain Fizz and his family. But Mark and Brad are continuing on. And if you want to go dive a wreck, that's the ones to contact. And we'll talk all about that tonight. So we got a real good show lined up for you.
Absolutely. And that to me, that would be for someone to be able to dive a wreck site or go out with these guys would just be incredible.
Oh, well, there would be if you're a treasure hunter of any kind and you do you scuba dive or, they'll take care of you and whatever. This is something you want to do because, you never know what you're going to find. It may not be the 1715 fleet that you dive, but it could be another wreck, and there's a bunch of them out there. So who knows? You never know what you're going to find. So I guess we better quit blathering.
Yes, we're blathering too much, Jeff.
Yeah, let's bring them on. From Scuba Wize, we have Captain Mark Littleton and Captain Brad Williamson. Hey, Mark, let me just scroll up here and get Brad, and there we go. 2 superstars. How you doing?
Doing great, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Well, we appreciate
You're welcome.
for sure. And I guess real quick, tell folks where you're at and when you're going to start diving this season.
Boy, well, I'm in Melbourne, Florida. Bradley's down in West Palm. Thank God for the warmer weather, Phil. I got to be honest with you. It's nice out to be in the t-shirt again.
It was
It really
nice,
is.
wasn't it?
Yep. And as for our diving season, well, our diving season normally starts in May. Okay, May into June, we run through September, and that's on the Pandion on the 17-15 fleet. But we're going to have scuba.
Mark mentioned he's having a problem that he gets dropped now and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll fill in for him because I've been working the 17-15 fleet for over 35 years. I came on board with Commander Weller. Oh, I think he's back.
Go ahead, Brad. I'm back.
Okay. Yeah, I was just filling in since you dropped. I told him you were having an issue. I was just kind of filling in, telling him my background. It's interesting because in the 17-15 fleet, it's changed. It used to be a lot of times, like even almost in April, we'd be out there in the water. And sometimes we go all the way to November, but it's just because of the, the changes in the weathers and stuff like this that now we're ready to go in May, but sometimes it's not until like the beginning of June. And we used to be able to go I remember diving out there in November, like 30 years ago. Now, generally, we start wrapping up around August. But you were talking about
has changed.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Brad. Go ahead.
I was just talking to Mark. You were talking about, they asked about the 17-15 fleet, but then you were mentioning about Scuba Wize, like when we're available.
Yep. Scuba Wize, we're going to start on the April 19th. That's going to be down in Isla Mirada, Florida, at Captain Slade's. We'll be going out in a 1733 Spanish galleon that day, is where we'll be on.
Oh,
Which will
about
be
how
really
deep
great
is that
dive.
one, Mark?
Boy, I guess the first part of the dive starts at about 15 to 16 feet deep. You can actually snorkel it. Okay. And the second part of the dive is on the San Jose. It's a Canon bounce site where they actually great photos with the Canon for customers. And that sits at about 30 feet of water, Brad, I would say.
About 35, yeah.
35, yeah. And that'll be a great day.
Yeah, that's cool. About where in Isla Mirada, I mean, I used to go to Isla Mirada fishing. We'd be out there at, hens and chickens and all those reefs out there. So,
it's actually right
Tennessee
up
Reef and all that.
It's actually
right up Tavernier.
Yes.
Very good, very good. And that'd be awesome because the water down there is spectacular if you get a good day.
It's gin clear down there.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. So how does take us through how they would go about it? Getting up with you and booking and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, I think we just lost him again.
Yeah, he's freezing.
Yeah, it's interesting because initially it was Fizz and I that started these workshops, and Mark was one of the students, and he's just run with it. He's handling all the business end because, we do the advertising. Are you back on board with us, Mark?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, you want to take it from here? I was just saying, like you do the
I actually started as a student. I actually started as a student with Scuba Wize over about 8 years ago, and I went to Captain Fizz. I go, we can turn this into something more, and met with Bradley, talked to Captain Fizz, and we started Scuba Wize. And the rest has been history. We've had a whole bunch of people with us. So it's been a blast. It's been a great ride. Love it. And our students love it. We've never had anybody complain.
Can I jump in here real quick? Because I'm seeing a question from Tom Becker.
Yes.
You need to be diver certified, right? No. Ask Mark. A lot of the times, like the initial wreck, like as Mark was saying, is so shallow, you can actually snorkel it. A lot of times, I prefer that I can see it see the overview of everything. And I'll just swim down. I've even free dive. Mark's seen me do this many times on the other wreck on the cannon out there. A lot of times I'm just swimming around, looking at the cannon, keeping an eye on the students. So no, you don't need to be certified to come snorkeling, or sometimes people just want to come for the class and just, go out in the boat. So.
Yeah, we get bubble watchers out there. Just sit on the boat all day long and watch it.
Yeah. I like that.
Everybody has a good time.
Well, how many people can you take at once?
Boy, up to about 18 students, then Brad and I.
Very good. Very cool.
We try to keep our classes smaller than that. We try to keep them between 6 and 12 people, but we can take up to about 20.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Because as we say, we've got, like, when Fizz was born, like, I've been doing this for over 35 years, both domestically and internationally, and found things, been on TV shows. Mark's been doing this for, yeah, I don't know how long you've been doing it, Mark, and, on numerous boats. And so, we're really there for the students because, I was lucky enough to be an apprentice under Commander Bob Frogfoot, who's famous for all the treasure he brought up in the 6 books and stuff. And, Mark's apprentice under Bill Black, he's been with us, so we have all this knowledge. And it's nice. We try and keep it small because we want it personal, because we tell them we're here for you. We've got what we do, kind of our, layout or our plan, but also it's like, ask us. The last thing we want to do is go home thinking we did a great job. Like, a student's like, gosh, I really wish they'd asked that, covered that one area. That's what we always tell them. It's like, look, let us know what you want to know about. We're going to cover how to, funding, how to pick a project, how to get the funding, what equipment you're going to need, how to do the recovery, how to preserve, dealing with the legal, even like some of the entertainment, because the background in television that we've been doing. I'm sure you see me many times on Expedition Unknown with Josh Gates. It's just, so it's like, pick our brains. We'll keep it very informal. Let us know what you want. We're here for you.
Well, it looks like we got a question from Tim Mumbles Man Naylor. He wants to know the cost of doing the class.
It depends what you do. If you're going to take the whole day core workshop with us and do scuba diving, it's $449. 125 of that goes to the boat fee. So it's really kind of economical. Our prices have gone up over the years, unfortunately, but that's just given the economy and everything else. And if fuel costs come down, maybe our prices will come down. We'll see.
Well, still, you think about it, Mark, it's really a pretty good price because you get to dive a sunken wreck that they would never get to dive on.
Oh, they get to dive.
First of all, they could never find it.
Yep. And they get to dive with Captain Brad and myself. What more could you want? Come on.
That's right.
Nice plug. I love that, buddy.
Well, that's true. That's a true statement.
Yeah.
Because, for these people that want to dive a wreck, and like you said, they don't necessarily have to be certified. And there are many, many certified divers that have never dove on a wreck and they don't know how to go about it. This would be a priceless education for them. It's something, they would never, ever get to do the rest of their life. So
if I can jump in here real quick, we're saving them a lot of money, because one of the things we tell them is, like, in this industry, you'll meet, unfortunately, there are, like, a lot of scammers, a lot of, but you also have the people like, Fizz, which was a mentor to both Mark and I. These are, like, some of the best down to earth, like, salt of the earth people. And it's where, there's not many of us in this field. And so a lot of times we tell them literally, because, we laugh. I don't want to say we laugh. It's sad, but, a gentleman, all he had was an anchor out there, and he sent out this prospectus. He had a bunch of investment bankers working for him. He raised $4 million, and he goes out there, just spends the time going around in the Caribbean on a yacht, because he issued a private placement memorandum, which basically says, here's how much money we need. You realize you're going to lose your entire investment. Oh, and by the way, you're a qualified investor. Those are issued by, you have to have an SEC lawyer. So, I mean, these poor people, they put all this money and they lost it all. And all he did was give himself a large salary. I'm not going to mention names. Give himself a large salary, go around the ocean for a couple of nice little cruise. And, so.
Yeah.
Hey, it looks like we have a question from Peter Mail. Do they supply the tanks and equipment?
Tanks and weights are provided for divers. If you need any other equipment, you can rent it right at Captain Slate's.
Okay.
Oh, cool. So yeah, that you know what, that's a very good point, Mark, because if you got people coming down, flying in from all over the country, you don't want to fly with tanks and a bunch of dang gear that you can go ahead and rent. If you're providing the tanks and stuff, and then they just need to get their fins and masks and snorkels and stuff, they can rent that. It's all going to be top flight stuff, so that just makes it that much easier for them.
Yes, we get people actually from all over the world, Jeff, that come into our workshops.
Yeah, we're the same here on Treasure Talk. We have people from all over the world. I think we just had a comment up from Angie from the UK. So It's
Nice.
it's really interesting. This I shouldn't say it's a hobby for you guys. It's pretty much a business. But for Jeff and I, it's more of a hobby. It's just a cool hobby to be involved in, and you can
This is
always
a lifestyle.
yes, it is. I say that. I tell people all the time, take your detector when they buy their first detector, take it everywhere you go. You go on a holiday, go on vacation, take your detector with you. So
That's a good idea. I like that.
Now, what kind of stuff might they find on, if they find anything on that wreck that you're diving in Isla Morada? What's the policy? If they find something, do they get to keep it, or what's the deal?
Well, we're actually in a protected area. So everything on the El Infante and the other wreck has to stay on the bottom. So we're actually pointing out what a Spanish galleon looks like. They get to see all the ballast stones. They get to see the beams in there. We're not allowed to take metal detectors down here. This is not an active working site.
Okay.
We just can't do that, but they get to see everything. They get to see the equipment that we use, how we actually detect, but we don't take it in the water there. It's just illegal
Right.
down there. Taking students onto an active site would be dangerous, so we can't do that take them to 1715 fleet. That would not be a good thing.
Right. Right.
Many times
Yeah.
we'll use this, Mark, if you don't mind me jumping in here, to kind of, we have people that want to come on board. We recommend that they take this class first, because it's one thing, you read about stuff, we've had students come out there where we put them, literally, this happened to me, right on the El Infante, right on that, Spanish galleon wreck. And they're looking around, they're like, where's the wreck? I don't see the wreck. And I'm like, look, see the ballast stone, and all of a sudden, like, oh, now I see the wreck. It's all around me. I can't tell how many people swim over stuff. But, like on the 1715 fleet, sometimes people, if they want to come on board with us, they do this first. We get a feel for them, and they come on the 15 fleet. Like some of this stuff, Mark and I found some beautiful emeralds, last season. This one right here is 135 karat raw, uncut emerald. When you're asking about some of the things that can be found, it's the largest emerald ever found on the 1715 fleet.
Yeah, that was found during the 2023 season. I'm kind of jealous you finding that too, since I found the 3 carat one.
No, yours is more like 30 karat, dude. Yours is 30 carats.
Mine was 3 carats. Yours is 136 or 138 carats. Yeah.
Yeah.
what kind of value is on that emerald there? I'm just curious.
A lot.
Yeah. And I'll tell you,
A lot.
I mean, okay, you want me to run with this, Mark?
Go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, like for example, this 8 real, this is the very first 8 that I ever found the first year when I was out diving with Commander Weller, on the Nieves on the 1715 fleet. Now, this is just like 1 ounce of pure silver, $20 for the bullion price. Now, to a coin collector, it's got the markings. You can see the 8 on it, the L on it, the Lima. You can see the date, 1694 plus ultra. Now it's worth maybe like 2,000. But the fact that it came from the 1715 fleet, Mark, these coins would go for like 7,000. I mean, it's just incredible.
Yeah, between 6 and 10 right now. Yeah, since I came from the Nueve site, absolutely.
Yeah. And so this is the largest emerald ever found on there. And it's more the collectors, the people that, it's not that we're going to cut it. They want the raw, uncut emerald because for their displays, I've already had a couple people ask me, telling me they want to buy it just because it'd be such a unique artifact. And there's a huge following. I mean, people, especially in the Middle East, they're buying this stuff off the 1715 fleet. People just love it because it's with so many. I mean, I don't know. I'm showing my age now. The Deep with Nick Nolte. Yeah, you know that. Yeah. Jacqueline Bissett. I mean, we all remember her with the T-shirt. But that was a great movie, but it was based on the 1715 fleet. You have, what was it? Fool's Gold, where I was involved with as an advisor on that. That was based on the 1715 fleet. Like Sales was, there was a TV series that was a lot of it was around involving the 1715 fleet too. So there's just so much. There's been so many books. There's such a following and kind of, like there's certain people, they love Coca-Cola products. They'll pay whatever for this. Certain people, the 1715 fleet, they just love it. They'll pay whatever they can just to obtain something.
Yeah.
Yep. Phil, to stop beating around the bush, that emerald's probably worth between 50 and 80K.
Yeah, that's what I was just curious. I knew it was worth a lot because everybody, there's so many shipwreck collectors. who would
Yes.
just love to have a piece like that. And now, do you guys, since you dove and found it, do you give them a certificate of authenticity?
We have one from Queen's Jewels, and we also have one from a gemologist.
Oh,
Yep.
This
So
is
that's
from the gemologist. They specialize in emeralds, JR Colombian emeralds. And you can see, I don't know how much you can see, but they certified that yes, it is, an emerald, raw, free form, translucent, medium grit, green, luster, good. I mean, so because that's the important thing. And we do have the cert here from the Queen's Jewels on the recovery of it, that it came off the 1715 fleet.
yeah, that's
Very
awesome.
good.
Well, whoever buys it's going to have a really cool, if you're selling it, a cool artifact for sure.
It'll
Well,
eventually-
if I win the lottery, I'm buying it.
Well, it looks like we got a question here from Ricky T. Supposedly a new 1715 plate fleet wreck may have been located in the Melbourne area. Any news on that?
I've heard about this, not yet. There's really no news about this yet. The funny thing about this, if it's in the Melbourne area, it's north of the leaseholders area for Queen's Jewels. Okay, Queen's Jewels goes to the Sebastian Inlet, very little bit north of that, but not much more. It does not make it all the way up to Melbourne. So we're still waiting to hear more on that one.
That's interesting. Well, how many ships are missing?
3?
Yeah, but the main ones that were documented as carrying treasure, because we have the Legajos. I got them from Bob, who got them from Jack Haskins. Who translated them. The Legajos are the actual documents from the 1715 fleet, of the captains, of the survivors, the navigators, where they documented everything. And so we pretty much know what's documented the treasure on each ship. Now each ship has what's called sin registrata. That was what they were smuggling on it. So whenever you see, say, if there was 2 million pesos on the vessel, we always say multiply that by 3. There was actually 6 million pesos on it, because there was so much smuggling going around to get around the king's taxes.
Yeah.
But so the main treasure bearing wrecks have been found, but the one we're looking for, the Sandy Point wreck that come up, is one of the few wrecks that has never been found. We know it was, there was Ubila and Echeverris. They were commanding the 2 fleets, the Nueva España fleet and the Terra Firma fleet. And they had the Capitan and Almirantes loaded with treasure. Well, this was one of the, I believe this was the Capitana. No, the Capitan Almirante, I should know this. And if you know, Mark, jump in. But it broke up, people have been finding like the bounce, the scatter pattern, but no one's ever found the main resting place. That's why these emeralds that we found, as you can see, the wrong cut, this was from the ship. They were carrying a lot of emeralds. And if we were able to find the final resting place of this ship, it would be one of the few ones that was, literally documented carrying treasure. And also the sin registrata, and just even things like cutlasses, muskets, flintlock pistols. It'd be spectacular. So that's why we've been really focusing on that wreck.
And Brad,
Let me.
how many chests of treasure on that area in the Legajos? Wasn't that 6?
Yeah, and there's also some documentation from the, I believe the governor of Jamaica was visiting, and this was in, the documents, the archives that I have, that he noticed numerous chests on the ship carrying emeralds. Because a lot of times when they get it, I have brought up like a golden emerald cross where the emeralds have been cut and they're set in, they're beautiful. But these chests would just be loaded with these, uncut raw emeralds, which is beautiful. So, I mean, there's so much, I'm sure there's a lot more out there.
Let me ask you a question. Like on the 1715 fleet, the main wrecks that y'all have been diving, that's not that far offshore. So when the illustrious bureaucrats decide they're going to replenish the beaches and start bringing all these huge truckloads of sand from the inside of the state and piling it on the beaches, and then you get a storm, and all it does is drags it out and just hides the wrecks even more, doesn't it?
Yes,
Under
it
more
does.
sand.
Yeah, it brings it back out to where we're at. And we are in shallow water. We're only diving in less than 20 foot of water, so we're very close to the beach. You can ask our friend Terry Shannon about the beach replenishment program. He'll tell you.
Oh,
Big time.
constantly. Yeah. Well, it gets to the point where I don't even like to go down to hunt the Treasure Coast because you can't even walk on the beach. There's so much sand.
No,
And so
absolutely true. Well, with
Yeah.
us, luckily, with the Pandion, we have the blower on the back that we can actually blow down into the sand to kind of displace all the new stuff that's there. We get down near to the coquina, the hard bottom, and that's where we do our metal detecting on the bottom, is right there. So we can get around that.
yeah, but it's a pain in the butt.
Yes. Yes. It's still doable.
And it's
It is a
expensive.
pain.
It's expensive because it takes fuel.
Takes a lot of fuel. It's wear and tear on the engine. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
If I can jump back about that, what they call beach nourishment, just one thing that a lot of people don't realize, a lot of that sand, that's not the sand that should be there. It's not like the sand of origin.
No.
Like it's either something, silt that they've dredged from further out or sand that they mentioned they shipped in. And so now, again, I hate to say this, these people that, very few, now they have their nice beaches, but because of that, it's not, indigenous to that area, the sand, it's very light. And so what happens, it always gets dragged out there because it turns into like a silty mud and it covers the reef and it's killing the marine life. It's killing the reefs. They never talk about that. They talk, we're replenishing the beaches and stuff like this, but it's like, Mark and I, we live in the ocean. I mean, there have been times I've spent, God, I remember like sometimes I'm underwater more than I am. I just come to sleep at night. So that's home for us. And it was sad to see, the decimation of a beautiful natural environment. We're very careful and protective when we work of the environment.
Well, you have to be. And then, it's the same thing. You've got bureaucrats who don't know what they're talking about. It's the same way when they put limits on the fish. You go out in now the Gulf of America, and if you can't hardly get down to the bottom to grouper fish because of the red snapper.
Yep.
It's just covered. And with the what do you call it, the Goliath grouper, they're just they're all over the place. So it's more bureaucracy than it is anything else. So anyway, did you see this question, Phil?
Yeah, I see from Pink Power Alley Treasure Hunter, which you guys know. Question: has Captain Brad or Dive Master Mark ever been invited down to the Bahamas with Carl Allen Adventures? Any special projects coming up?
Hi, Allie. I have not. Hope you're doing well.
Well, if I can jump in here, because several of my close friends and business associates, they know Carl Allen very well, and they're working with him. One of them actually invested a very large sum with the project. And, he was bringing his boat there. He did invite me to go out. We're going to be going out. But unfortunately, there's a litigation going on right now, which I don't even really want to comment on. Just avoid that because I don't want to open my mouth and say something. But it's sad. So there's the litigation over that wreck now in the division of the treasure. So I'm sure you've read about that. It's been all the news.
Yeah.
So why don't we do this, Mark? Why don't you kind of show everybody what the giveaways are going to be tonight, and we'll give away the number one giveaway.
Yeah.
Number one giveaway is going to be the hat.
Yes, show that so everybody can see it.
There we go.
Oh, that's a cool hat.
That is a
cool
cool
hat.
Yes.
Okay.
Scuba Wize Treasure Expedition. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and give that away. What we're going to do is, this is what you put in the chat, people, just as I have it there. If you don't put it exactly, it won't pick up your name and you may not win. So that's what you got to do to win prize number one, which is that outstanding Scuba Wize hat. So I'll give you a few minutes to put that in there. Then we'll do the drawing and then we'll go on and get some questions going here, people.
Yeah, if you have any questions, just type them in the comments here, and Jocelyn or Jeff will put them on the screen so we can get them asked for sure.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Looks like the comments or the entry is probably ruling over it.
Yeah, well, they'll think of something. They all want the hat. So
yeah, they want the hat for sure.
yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, I mean, and these people, you got to thank, right this minute, let's give Mark and Brad a big round of applause because they stepped up tonight with the giveaways.
Yeah,
Some really outstanding giveaways.
yeah, we got some outstanding ones coming up too. The hat and the was I correct? Was that a shot or a musket ball?
That's a shot. Looks
Shot.
like it's a pistol shot.
Pistol shot. Cool. That's
Yep.
awesome. Okay, what's the oldest coin each of you incredible guests have found, and what's their favorite finds? That's a good one.
Yeah, she almost beat. We know what's coming up later because the Mumbles man, he'll get after that one.
Okay, my favorite find is a Lima Ada Scudo from 1712, and that was found down by the Nueve site, down off of Douglas Beach. That's my favorite one. Okay, that's probably my oldest one too. But my favorite coin I wear every day is this guy right here. It almost looks like the shape of Florida, but without the panhandle. This guy. I wish it had the panhandle on it. Then it'd be perfect. But this is the one I wear every day. That's kind of my favorite.
How about you, Brad?
Me, my favorite, this was, like back 30, 35 years ago when I first got involved with this under Commander Weller. This was the first 8 real that I ever found because I remember as a kid dreaming about pirates and pirate treasure. And I just man, if I could just find one piece of 8, I'd be so happy. So I wear this, saying that dreams come true. It's dated 1694, so this would be the oldest coin. But believe it or not, my favorite treasure that I've found is a beautiful gold and emerald cross that I found down on Treasure Beach. And what I like about that was because I was in grad school working on my MBA at George Washington University at the time. My wife at the time called me crying, she needed some contact lens and saying, I'm like, well, just go buy one. She goes, we don't have the money for it. I was down there with Commander Weller. We were doing some work on the 1733 fleet. And the weather was bad that day. So I just went to the beach where people had found some stuff. And I found this beautiful gold and emerald cross. And the emeralds on it were spectacular from the Muzo mine. And I just remember it was being nice to call my wife and just say, we're good. It's just something you see in a movie where it's like distraught and then all of a sudden, boom. I mean, that unfortunately doesn't really happen very rarely. But that was like, a lot of things are in the movie. So
as long as you got the provenance like they had in the deep.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and give away the hat. So are we ready?
We're ready. Let's draw it.
Okay. Round and around we go. Nicky Lopez. I think he won something a week or so ago.
Yeah.
So Nicky Lopez.
So Nick, when you get your prize, make sure you take a picture of yourself wearing a hat and put it on Treasure Talk Facebook page for sure.
And what you do is you send your name, address, and phone number with prize number 1 to treasuretalkshow@gmail.com, and we'll get your prize out to you. So make sure you copy that down, and let's get it taken care of. Okay, we had some questions there, I think, Phil.
Yeah, we did. We had a bunch of them, but let's see. From Pink Power Alley is asking what's on their bucket list. Still looting, you guys.
On their bucket list. Brad, what's on your bucket list, Brad?
Well, as far as the shipwreck, I'd love to find, like we've been working on, the final resting place of the Sandy Point wreck, because that would be a virgin 1715 fleet loaded with treasure, loaded with Sin Registrata. And it was just because so much of my life, many of the wrecks that I've worked, they've been found. I haven't worked many virgin wreck sites. So this would be something that I would really like.
That's true. That emerald was kind of a teaser in 2023. Yeah. That was a teaser, those emeralds. So, yeah, I'd have to say about the same. That one's been eluding us for a long time.
Okay, and then we have another question here from Tom Becker, and he's asking, what's the most dangerous situation you were in while diving? That's a good question.
Boy, me would have to be back in the 1990s when I was still up in the New Jersey area, would have been diving the Andrea Doria. I did a lot of penetration diving off the Seeker out of Brielle, New Jersey, out to the Andrea Doria, and that That dive was 265 feet down. And I
That's
kind
what
of
I
used to
was
do that on a
thinking.
regular basis. Coming down doing the Spanish galleons has been a breeze in comparison.
Now, the Andrea Doria, wasn't that the one they made that movie about, basically, the perfect storm?
The Shadow Divers, I think was the name of the
Okay.
movie with John Chatterton. It was the book was written by Robert Kurson.
Uh-huh.
Okay, there's a couple books on that, and John Chatterton was actually the main character with Richie Kohler was also in that book.
Okay.
Those are the two guys I
Now,
dove with up north.
when the Andrea Doria went down, it went down with all the crew in a heavy storm, didn't it?
Only 12 deaths. They all got off except for that they lost 12 people. That was it.
There was a collision between that and the Stockholm, if I'm correct, Mark.
Stockholm, yes.
Stockholm right into it, yes.
Yep. It's a collision between that and Stockholm.
And how deep did you say you dove on it?
265.
Woo.
Jeez. Now, did you have to use special equipment or?
Use Trimix, which is a mixture of different gases, so you can actually stay down longer. It's a decompression dive, which is very dangerous. And the currents out there were outrageous.
Cold.
Yeah. If you didn't hang
Very
on to the
cold.
tag lines, when you were down, at 30, 40, 50 feet, you'd be 3 miles away from the dive boat.
Oh, jeez.
Crazy. That's something else.
How about you, Captain Bradley?
It's interesting because, I've done several episodes with the TV show Expedition Unknown. And I got to tell you, just as back, Josh Gates is a fantastic guy. He's very down to earth, very friendly, very caring. And the reason I bring this up was because on one of the episodes, you'll see this. We were looking for Amaro Prago, his treasure. And it was interesting because when we were doing it, we were on the Canary Islands and there was these caves. And actually, if you go to either like my website, bradleywilliamson.com or treasureexpeditions.com, you'll see the video, some behind the scenes videos I always do when I'm on there. And you'll see as we're swimming in, these huge swells come up. And the cave that we're going to is pitch black because there's a lava bottom. So you can't really see, and it's dark in there. And the waves cover the entire entrance of the cavern. You can see this in the show. And what's interesting is there were these huge boulders down there. And I'm thinking to myself, they make you sign a release because they do a lot of crazy stuff. Or literally, you die, you get paralyzed. It's like you can't sue us. You're doing it of its own volition. I remember doing that and thinking to myself, because I'm with Josh and I see that wave, I'm like, oh hell, I'm not waiting. I'm getting in that cave and on the beach as soon as possible. But you can see those waves. You can see where it tumbled and carried us in those boulders because last thing I want to do was to face plant on one of those boulders and start spitting out teeth. So it's interesting because someone thought, on my Instagram, they mentioned that it was created. No, everything is 100% real. I can tell you that. And, the cameraman, because I was thinking to myself, it's like, what are you doing, Brad? This is crazy. You're in this cave with these huge swells coming to cover the entire cave and you have nothing. They're just throwing you and you're just hoping you don't face plant on one of those boulders before you make it to the beach inside the caves.
Yeah, that's crazy for sure. And how about with wildlife and sharks? You guys ever have any issues with them?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Phil.
Yeah.
With sharks or barracudas, you ever have any issues with wildlife?
Barracudas are never a problem. As for sharks, not really. When they hear our blower, they kind of take off. You might get a couple nurse sharks around. Now, 17, 15 fleet area is known for a lot of bull sharks. Okay, have seen them. They really haven't bothered you. They really just don't bother you. I think they'd bother you if I was closer to the beach, okay, where the big fish are, but not out where we are.
Okay. Yeah, and your water is pretty clear out there, isn't it?
On the
No,
15th fleet, no.
No.
Not at all. Not at all.
On the 17, 15 fleet, if you can see, 6 inches on a day, you're doing good. If you get 4 feet, it's a great day. It's not as clear as it is down south.
On this note, it was funny, just to show you, like, I remember we were working a wreck site and one of my friends and backers was on the boat. And apparently there was this big, like, bull shark swimming all around. I had no idea. He goes, Brad, did you see that shark? I'm like, no, because unless it's biting, you're not going to see it. Because a lot of times, as Mark was saying, I've literally gone down with an orange glove, put it on my mask, but I can't even see it. but there are days. That's why the treasure's still there, because it's very difficult to work because of lack of visibility, the shallow reefs. As soon as the seas pick up, you have to go in because there's a reason these crash on these reefs, and we don't want our boat crashing on these reefs.
Right.
Okay, let's do this. While you ask that question for Brad, I'll put the for the next giveaway up, and that will be for the pistol shot. Correct, Mark?
Sure. That's this guy right here. It's a 1715 Fleet pistol shot, and it comes with a cert from Queen's Jewels.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's outstanding. That's treasure in itself.
That is treasure.
That's
It
treasure.
is for sure.
The
That's what we put up to get entered for this drawing number 2. And the question is for Brad. It's Chris, Wick, and Amy here. Do you have any upcoming shows with Josh? And I'm assuming that means Josh Gates.
Yes, and hi, Chris, Wick, and Amy. They're good friends. I've known them for I don't know how many years, and they've been out with us on the 1715 fleet. Right now, I just wrapped up. The most recent one I did was when we went in Spain and the Canary Islands, dealing with the pirate at Marapago. But now I've actually got a couple projects coming up that I really can't talk too much about because working with the production, the VP of the production company, everything's going where it's going to be, involved in new. I don't even know if I can talk about the location. So I've got several filming opportunities to come up. But the thing is, you really can't talk about them. That's why they respect about me. Like even with Josh Gates, we do this stuff. And they know me so well, they allow me to publish, but you sign these rights. You don't say anything until the show actually airs.
Well, yeah, because they expose their advertising.
Yeah, but I can do it like a little bit before. But if I do it, it's like, well, why watch the show? The person knows it's on like a spoiler alert. So that's why I'm generally under contract that, about like a day or two before it airs, I can, put it on like social media saying, oh yes, hey, watch this show. It's going to be a great show on this. But I can't go into detail. Once it airs, like I mentioned, if you go to either of my sites, you'll see some of the behind-the-scene photos that we take, the video. I talk about the events and everything. So these upcoming ones, I really can't talk about it right now, but they're going to be great TV shows.
Well, I tell you, a great TV show would be to get Josh Gates out on the Pantheon with you and Mark. That would be a killer show.
I've got his phone number right here in my iPhone. And if I called him, he'd pick up. He's that nice, decent person. Like, I consider myself a somebody, but for him, all the people he deals with, he'll recognize me like, hey, Brad, how's it going? And I have invited him because also the cameraman, the sound techs are all, we're such good people, like warm, friendly, caring people. It makes it a pleasure. So the invitation is out to all of them, not just Josh Gates, but any of them to come out at any time.
Yeah, that would be a killer show for Treasure Talk, too. Once you guys have the show on the Pantheon, to have all three on Treasure Talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That would be great. So let's do a giveaway, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay, we ready? Prize number 2. And here we go, loop-de-loo. Core Ocean Art is the winner of prize number 2. So that is great. Core Ocean Art, thank you. Congratulations. You have won a pistol shot from the 1715 fleet with the certification, and that is treasure, my friend. So what you need to do is, with all winners, is name, address, and phone number, along with the words prize number 2, to treasuretalkshow@gmail.com, and we'll get your prize out to you. So treasuretalkshow@gmail.com, prize number 2. Congratulations to you.
For sure. Now let's talk about, since we talked about the 8 reals, how about the the 8 escudos, the gold coins?
The gold coins, yeah.
How many of those have you pulled up?
I've got 2. I've got a Lima 8 escudo, and I've got a 4 escudo. Can't see the date on the 4 escudo, but it's a fleet escudo.
And you dove and found those?
Nope, they're both beach finds, Phil.
Beach finds.
Beach finds down from Douglas Beach. And I'm not going to say where on Douglas Beach. I apologize, but I will not say where on this show.
You can't do that for sure. How about you, Captain Bradley?
I've actually found several gold coins over the years, and it was interesting because like the first one I found was with, I was diving under Commander Bob Weller with his company Cross Anchors, and this was on the Nieppe site, and we were blowing it, and he went up to the surface, and I just grabbed the detector from him, and it's interesting because a lot of people don't realize the silver coins corrode, they get oxidized, like gold underneath the ocean looks just like the day it went down. It sparkles and it's brilliant. And it's funny because when I use the detector, I'm almost kind of like training my eyes. And I remember going across it, and all of a sudden I saw the coin at the same time it got the hit. And that one was dated 1704, And kind of like when finding the emerald, another one was, this is on the Rio Mar wreck. I was just moving some ballast, because you see the ballast around there, moving some ballast, and I found it, and same thing about the same time with the detector. I saw it 1713. So yeah, I've been lucky to have found, gold coins, silver coins, jewelry, you name it. I think I found just about everything out there. Kangxi porcelain,
Emeralds.
Yes, the emerald. Yeah, thanks, Mark. Yeah.
Emeralds. How about your most unusual finds?
Ooh. I'd say beer cans, but it wouldn't be unusual.
No, none of that stuff would be unusual in the ocean.
No.
How much junk do you guys find out there? I mean, is it as bad as on the beach, or?
Probably not as bad on the beach, but we do get a lot out of there. You got to remember, all the fishermen out in boats, they sink their beer cans so they don't get caught with them. So we do find quite a lot of old beer cans.
Well, I've seen, pleasure boaters just take their cooler with all the empties and dump it over the side.
So have I. Yep.
Along with all their other trash. It's
Yeah,
anyway.
People don't realize many times we're actually cleaning the ocean out there.
Yeah.
They would give us a negative point of view sometimes, I think, from, there's a push on this, but like I said, we're more protective of the environment than anyone else. This is our home for us, the ocean. And we're out there cleaning. If they saw how much junk we bring up, it's like, shoot, they should be paying us for all the,
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So why don't we do this? Due to time constraints, let's take a look at the third giveaway. We'll get them registering, and we have a question you can answer while we're registering them up. Now, this is cool.
This is cool. This is the placard. This was made by Gary Penta. He made a few of these for us. He's done a lot of work for us in the past for the Pandion and for Scuba Wize. It's a picture of Captain Brad, Captain Carl, and myself with the Pandion on there. There is a Scudo here. It's an imitation of Scudo attached to it, which is really cool. And this is able to stand on itself, or you can put it into a frame.
Yeah, that is outstanding. That's just outstanding.
Nice. Yes.
So this is how we do it, folks, right there. That's what you put in the comments to be entered for this outstanding. I mean, this is a fantastic. It's going to be a collector's item for sure. And
Absolutely.
it's just a remembrance of a really, really great friend of ours, Captain Fizz.
Yes, that to me is so far is the best prize right there. But it looks like we got a question from Allie again, Pink Power Allie. What are some locations that you've been to dive for treasure?
I think it actually says, what are some locations you haven't been?
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't read. You haven't been. Yes, you're correct. I better check my glasses.
I think for myself, I've done Canada, the Caribbean, the Bahamas. I've been out there, Florida. One area that I'd like to would be England. I've been invited on some projects out there just because I like the way the English government deals with the treasure recovery. They look at it, see both the gentlemen nodding instead of like, the government saying this is mine, mine, mine. They're like, look, if this is something unique, we want it in the museums, and I'm fine with this. And they'll get 3 independent appraisals, and they'll compensate the person for the recovery. If not, if it's something that they've already got that doesn't really have much, museum value, they just say, keep it. And I just really like the way the rules are over in England. I would love to do in the water and on the land in England.
Yeah, that's cool. Let's get after this one.
Yep.
You can go ahead and talk while we're doing it, Mark.
Oh, I can say with me, when I grew up, when I was 8 years old, I watched, the shows with Mel Fisher on it way back in the day doing the 1715 fleet, the Real Lake Company. And I always just wanted to do the 1715 fleet. And as for treasure hunting, that's kind of what it is with the boat. Now, I've beach detected all over Jersey, down in Maryland, and all over Florida also. But when it comes to underwater treasure hunting, it's only been the 1715 fleet for me. And of course, the 1733 fleet was Scuba Wize, but I don't treasure hunt down there.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, we got a winner of that outstanding plaque. And again, thank you so much for all these giveaways. And that would be Digging Florida with Bill Gross. Congratulations, Bill, on winning. And you know the drill. Name, address, phone number, prize number 3, treasuretalkshow@gmail.com. And we'll get after it. Get it out to you. And we got the last one coming up. We're going to wait a little bit. That's going to be the last one of the night. And you might as well go ahead and show it while we're talking about it, Mark, because their hair is going to be catching on fire.
Yes.
This cob right here is a Mexico City mint, 8 real. It's from between 1714 and 1733. It's from an unidentified shipwreck. It weighs 24.71 grams, and this came from a Sedgwick auction, which the flip will be with it, so you can actually look up and see which wreck it is from.
That's
Really cool.
Yeah, that's
It's a
an
nice
awesome piece of treasure for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Very
can see the frost and
outstanding.
everything.
Yep, and that's the back. Nice.
That's an interesting question there. What do you guys think of the show Curse of Oak Island?
If I can jump in here, because I've talked to the directors and producers, because I've done multiple shows, and a lot of times they'll know me from the shows, or I've talked with them about coming out there. That's a good. I don't know what I can say though about that. But I mean, it's been going on for how many seasons now? 9 seasons.
Long time.
So they've got to have some really good writers to keep it going for this long. I don't think they've found that much, but
They found a button.
Find a lot of wood.
A lot of wood, a lot of buttons. But I'll tell you, Gary Drayton's a great guy. I know him personally. He does a lot of good metal detecting on the coast here.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I just, I get a little bored with the show because they're not finding enough to keep me, in. I know that's how metal detecting and treasure hunting is. It's treasure hunting. Sometimes it's not treasure finding. So,
all TV's entertainment. That you have to remember. It is entertainment.
Yes. So,
Especially when you can fast forward, when you can DVR it and fast forward through the commercials. So let's say, how do they go about getting up with you, Mark, to book their trip?
Well, all they got to do is visit scubawize.com. Okay. If they contact me directly, we're military, we're veteran owned. So if you're military or a veteran, we will give you a discount. Okay. But all our prices are on there. And if you are military or veteran, just use the contact form, contact me directly, and I'll get back with you on one-on-one. Or else you can book any class you want. Just right by clicking on it, going to the shop, and pay for it via PayPal.
perfect.
Scubawize.com. And that's where you need to go, folks. And you need to go check it out, regardless of, when you can find out when you can go, so you can plan ahead. And trust me, this is something you want to do, because 2 better fellas you'll never find than these 2 right here that are more knowledgeable, and they're going to have your safety as a paramount concern and make sure that you have a good time. And it can be for the whole family. So if you want to take your kids on an unforgettable vacation, this is the one you need to do. So scubawize.com, make sure you check it out and give them a call. You'll be glad you did.
Absolutely. So go to the website and book your trips, especially if you're up north and you want some warmer weather. I mentioned, my wife always gets on me. She said, when we moved to Tampa in 81, we should have moved to the Keys. Her family is originally from Key West. And she always says, it's too cold here. We should have moved to the Keys. I hear that every winter. So, and we're in.
After the weather we've had, I'd like to move south too.
Think about me. Well, I still got snow in the corners here.
Wow.
Oh, geez, yeah.
And I just live in Thomasville, Georgia, which is about 20 miles from the Florida state line. So
Wow.
Yeah,
we had
thank
6 inches of snow.
Yeah, that's crazy for sure.
Ah,
So,
yeah. Let's have some questions, folks.
yeah, some questions and show the coin again.
Sure.
Yeah, because we're going to do that in about 2 minutes.
That's the coin. You can see there's a little coral incrustation on it right around the cross. There's a little bit there. But this guy's a real nice coin and a really
It's a
good weight.
treasure.
Yes,
And-
this
It's
is
a
pure
treasure.
treasure.
And that's
That's right.
an eight real. So was that about an ounce of silver?
Yes. This is just shy of an ounce. Like I said, this is 24.71 grams. An ounce would be 26.7. So it's just shy. But that could be from the wearer being underwater or just how they cut it.
And Ricky T's asking a question. Any problems with modern pirates? That's an interesting question.
We haven't. Others have, but we have not.
Okay. Oh, that's a good question too from Detective
Yep.
Adventures. What is your most favorite memory of Captain Fizz?
Wow.
There's just so many.
Yeah, I know. And he was such a
Wow.
good gentleman. I mean, he would give someone the shirt off of his back.
Oh yeah, I absolutely, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. You know.
Yeah.
We had him a couple of times for a thing I used to do called Treasure Tales. Well, you were supposed to be there one time, Mark, and you got sick.
Yep, I sure did. I had COVID.
Yeah, and Fizz was just everybody loved Fizz.
Mhm.
I mean, how could you not?
Well, his nickname was, we just called him like the most lovable pirate, everyone's favorite pirate. So
Yeah, I mean, how could you not? You had to.
one thing,
Because kind, and I mean, he would bring all this treasure and let people handle it, and they could walk around the room with it. I mean, it's unbelievable. It was just unbelievable.
one thing he did that I've appreciated more because you probably haven't heard it. He didn't, talk about it or publicize it like so many people will do to get recognition. But he would go to the hospitals a lot of times because his wife Scooter, was in charge of the the museum, the hospital down the Keys, the Mariners. Anyway, he would go there dressed up as a pirate to the kids that are dealing with some critical illness, and he would just go there and entertain them and brighten their day and stuff. And no one ever knew he did that. That was just something he did because
He did that for years.
publish it everywhere. Look what I'm doing. He did
Yeah.
that solely for the kids who are suffering from
It's incredible for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, we're running out of time, my friend. So I guess we better.
I'm going to give that away. I'm just getting for some reason it's not working right, so it's not showing any entries. But let me redo it. If we run over a couple minutes, we just run over a couple minutes. That's all.
Have to do it to get rid of the to do the last giveaway.
Yeah, that's let's see. Got that. Keep talking.
Cabarino.
Cabarino.
Yes, it's a Cobb's. So for the folks out here, why don't you tell them what a Cobb is? That's a good question.
Okay.
You want me to take that?
Go ahead.
Sure. Cobb, it's interesting when people see this, like the pieces of 8, no 2 pieces of 8 are the exact same because it wasn't until later that they came out with the pillar dollar was actually minted. I hate to use the term, but when they were recovering all this gold and silver, I hate to use the term like slave labor. That's basically what it was. The people working there, and they would just get have a planche of silver and cut and weigh it till it was like 1 ounce for 8 real, half an ounce for 4 real, and then they put it between an anvil and a die and just hammer it. And so since they were all handmade, they're all different. And that's what I love about the Cobb's coins. The ones that weren't machined, because everyone is like snowflakes. they're all different. You're never going to find two. If you ever see two of them that are the exact same, one of them's a replica.
Yes, it's a fake, or they're both replica.
Yeah, Fred gets okay.
Oh,
Fred,
look who won this one.
that's cool. Fred's going to be real happy, I'm sure.
Yes, he is.
He got the treasure.
And now he can. It's another one to rub into Terry's nose.
Well, guys, it looks like our hour is actually gone now. So I wanted to thank you guys for coming on here and sharing your info on Scuba Wize and treasure hunting the 1715 and the 1733 fleets. Thank you, Captain Bradley and Mark. We appreciate you coming on here. And thank you to our many members for being on here watching us. And I know whoever won the prizes is real happy with them for sure. And thank you,
That's
Jeff.
right.
And thank you, Jocelyn, for helping out over there. And I'll turn it over to you, Jeff.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, guys. I mean, this has been a tremendous show tonight, and it's all due to both of y'all. And I just can't thank you enough for the outstanding giveaways that you afforded us tonight. And I know that one thing's for certain, Mark and Brad, that Fizz is up in heaven, and he's looking down on us, and he's taking a slug of rum, and he's smiling.
Yes, he
Because
is.
both y'all were very special to him. He was very special to us. He was very special to the whole treasure hunting community. And he's just smiling and looking down on you. And you know for certain, what this hunting season gets going, Fizz is going to be helping you out from up there. So thanks again, guys. We'll get back with you real soon. And remember, scubawize.com, get your trip booked, because this could be the trip of a lifetime, and it can't be any better than that. So that's what we want you to do, is call Captain Mark and go to scubawize.com, look up your trip, get it booked, and let's get her done. So thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you later. Happy hunting and dig deeper. Thanks, guys.
Have a great night, everybody.